Hi, in this video, I'm going to kind of wing it. And I'm in a, a new computer that I have where I've just been sort of throwing folders willy-nilly. I've just been importing random things onto the computer, importing them into my catalog, but it's not particularly well organized. So I'm going to use this as a demonstration of how you might redo the organization of your catalog from within your catalog. This is not as much of a mess as I have had in other catalogs, I'll admit. So this will be, hopefully I can get through most of this organization in one video. Your catalog and your cleanup might definitely take a little bit longer, but hopefully this will give you a little bit of an idea of how you can approach this and how you can think about it. Okay, so as I said, this is a new computer. I've been using it for various things. I haven't actually been really specific about what I import, but sometimes I import things here and sometimes there. And I have not yet set up a really good folder structure, which was bad of me. As soon as you get started, you should have a folder structure. Now, the other thing that's happening with this catalog that I want you to notice, if you go up here, you see that I actually have, it says I've got 46,000 photos in this catalog. I do, but I only have less than 3,000 on this computer. The rest of them are actually external hard drives that I went ahead and imported into this catalog so I can work on that organization as well. I'll show you that at the end of the video. What I want to start with right now is how I would go about reorganizing the pictures folder in here. And actually one other folder. Most of what I'm looking at, everything's in the pictures folder. Now you notice, and I'll go ahead and click on that, you can see there's about 2,800 photos in there. And they're organized by capture time. So that's always helpful. You can start here. Actually, let's go up to the top. So this is from the oldest down to the newest. So you can, for you, I might be recommending for many of you, if you were taking classes on campus, you did it this way, and I'm recommending that you still do it this way at home if you are not working on a computer with a lot of memory, or if you're not working on your own computer, other people use it. You still might be doing this on an external hard drive. I'm doing this on my computer in my pictures folder because I'm the only one that uses it. You might refer to the external drives. I do have external drives that I plug in and work with too. But again, I'm going to show that to you at the end. Let's get moving and get started on this organization. Okay, so in this folder, you can see, I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it just kind of doesn't make any sense. There's one folder up at the top that says 2020 photos, and actually, since I got this computer in 2020, all of these are 2020 photos. There's not much in there right now. There's just that one folder. The rest of these probably were all taken in 2020 and they could go in there. But the categories are pretty odd. Some of them are specific. Some of them, like this, is just the name of the camera that I took it with. So I actually want to get a little bit more specific. I've decided that the best strategy, I'm going to make a new set of folders, so I'm going to move stuff around into them. The best strategy for this computer, since everything is from 2020, is to just break it down into months. And just most of these folders, I think, only have photos from a single month from a project that took place within a month. So I think that's going to work out all right. I could redo it later if I needed to, but this is a good way to start, and it's a way that I can keep going. So I'm going to put everything into 2020 photos because they're all photos, but I'm going to create some new folders that are for the months of 2020. Now I'm going to do this up here. Oh, and actually one thing I want to check before I get going is to just make sure that everything that's in here is actually in a subfolder. I'll show you a little trick with this later, or a little way to manage this. But for right now, I want to go into this little subset and take off photos in subfolders. And this is what you want. So this is one good thing that I did. All of my photos are in subfolders. There's none of them that are just sort of loosely thrown into pictures without being in some kind of a subfolder. That's always the first thing I check when I'm getting ready to organize stuff, because those photos have to be placed into subfolders as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a subfolder, not a folder, but a subfolder in, oh, actually, cancel. Always want to check this. I want to create these in 2020 photos. I'm going to put all the photos in there. So I'm going to create a subfolder in here. And I'm going to call it 01 January. Now there's a couple of reasons for this. First, January is the first month of the year, but the other thing is that if I say 01, it's going to go at the top. And if I keep going down, and this is one of my favorite ways actually to organize folders, because it's so tidy. If I go 02 February, and notice I'm putting that underscore. Folders can handle it when you don't have an underscore, but it is often just a little better if you have it. It just helps to communicate. I'm going to go ahead and put one more in and just show you how that's working. So 03 is March. Oop, let me make sure I spell it right. And you notice that they're all coming up in order. I love that. It's already making my heart feel better just because it's already making my heart feel better just because it's so much more orderly. Okay, I'm going to keep on going, and I know it's a little tedious to watch, but it's really important that I go ahead and I make all of the months of the year before I get going on my categorizing, moving things around. I just want to have all the folders set up. This is the way I really suggest you do it. Just get everything ready. Oops. Make sure we do it right. 06 is June. It's just going to make things faster and more efficient. And again, you know, this is something that I just sort of have. This is July. I have these projects that if I'm ever bored in front of the TV, which doesn't seem to happen much anymore, but if it happens, these are great things that you can just sit and do late at night when you have nothing better to do. For you, it's going to be an assignment. Okay, so I have all the months of this year so far because I'm making this video in August. I can add more later, but for now, since September hasn't happened yet, I don't have any files to go in there. Now, there's a few different ways I can check this, and I'm going to show you some really cool things you can do with metadata later that will help you with this cleanup. But for now, we'll just keep it sort of manual and simple. I'm going to first of all check the one folder that's in here. This is called Chase the Light. I know that's an odd title for it, but it was a photo exhibition that I participated in. And so I know for a fact, this is a good start, that all of the photos, all 600 photos that were in here were taken between June 13th and 14th, because that was part of the criteria for the exhibit. So you can see, so I'm going to just grab them all, Command A or Control A on a PC, and I'm going to put them into June. And oops, actually, I don't want to do it that way. I want to grab the folder and move the entire folder up there because I want to keep things in this folder for now. I might be changing the names of the folders, or maybe I'll subdivide the folders. I don't know. But for now, just to make sure I kind of have a sense for what's in each folder, I'm just going to leave things in the folder with that title. Again, it's like an ongoing process. Okay, so the next one is called Closeups, and I guess that's exactly what it is. These are just close-ups that I was doing with my camera. And notice that I did this in the other one, but let me just remind you, I have this sorted by capture time. And this makes it handy. If I'm organizing it by date, it makes it really handy because I can just click on the first one, and it was on May 6th. And I'll click on the last one, and it was on May 29th. So we just squeaked in here. These were all taken in May. Oops. So this whole folder, excuse me, can go into May. Okay, so you can see those are showing up. As soon as we have a subfolder in these, we have that little arrow that comes up and down. I'm going to go ahead and leave it down so you can remember where we are. Now this one is a little bit goofy, and this is going to be, fortunately for us, a little bit trickier because for some reason, this is something I never do, but that's why we're cleaning up. I didn't name this folder anything. I just let it keep the folder name D7200, which is one of my cameras. So I have no idea what's on here or what dates it's on. So let's just click into it. And again, we'll start with the process we did at first. And you can see the first one is from January 18th. So all the way back to January. We go all the way back to the beginning of 2020 when the world was different. And if we come down to the last one, it was in June. So we have a lot going on here. So I'm going to have to start at the top and work my way down. So, and I'm just going to put these loose into these folders because I'm going to have to break this folder up because it's so many different months and it doesn't have a great title to it, so I don't care about that. Looks like it's mostly birds, but until we make sure, we won't title them. So I'm just going to scroll down and hopefully I can do some remembering. Yep, there we go. These are all from January. And so I'm just doing a shift click, selecting all of those, and I'm just going to drag them over and put them loose into January. I'll create a subfolder later, but it's easier right now just to go through and grab them. It's February, and let's see if I can remember. Oh yeah, I had this long day. I went out on a birding trip, and I know I took that one on that day. And it looks like I went on more birding trips that month. So these are also February, and these are also February, and February, and boy, it keeps on going. Let's see. Yep, there's March. Okay, so everything from there all the way up to here goes in February. Now, there are different dates in February. I'm not going to put them in different dates for now. I might later if I get more involved in doing subfolders, I'll do that. And I can show you how that might work. Okay, March. Let's see, we're going through here. Let's see where March ends. Oh, March goes a long ways. I did a lot of photographing in March, mostly birds. And by the way, when I'm going through these folders, if you see things that you think really are terrible, that's because these files, I've been a little bit busy. There's the end of March, and I haven't actually had a chance to go through and edit these. So these are pretty much just as they came out of the camera. I haven't eliminated anything. I haven't done much of anything at all with them. So I'm going to move these over to March. Again, just all loose. Okay. And here's April. Let's see. Yeah, and there's some terrible stuff in April because I really never see. There's things that I really could eliminate. But this is the thing. I don't do that until I'm not going to do that until I get everything organized because you can get really sidetracked. You know how it is when you're sorting out stuff in your house and you start finding like things that you want to read, and that can take you completely away from your sorting. So you want to kind of focus on and go, I'm just going to move things around by date. I'm not going to get involved. Later on, I can stop and sort of look through. Okay, so those are going to April. Whew. And we still have a few more. Some of this looks like pretty terrible stuff that I'll eliminate, but I'm going to wait on that. Let's see. Oh, there's June. Where did the end of May go? Right there. Yep, there we go. Now, I'm going to put this into the May folder. Remember, May actually has some stuff in it already. And so that means that these are going to sort of be loose in that folder. And I'll show you how to locate the ones that are not in a subfolder. I think I just have one more in this file, right? Because this is June and June, right? So I'm going to grab these and throw them again loose in June. There's another subfolder in there, so I'm going to have to go through and fix that. But for right now, at least they're going to be in the right date. Okay, so this folder is now empty, and I am just going to remove it because who needs a folder named D7200? Okay, and here's a couple more little short ones. This actually has a subfolder, but I think this is all the same thing. This was taken in May. And yep, these are all from May. So I can move this entire folder with its subfolder into May. May was a busy month. I was making a lot of photos. I don't know what miscellaneous is, but we'll see if it's all taken in the same month, and it looks like it is. Thank goodness, because those I'm just going to have to throw in there, and we'll have to sort them out. That's just like a junk drawer, very small junk drawer. Montana is, fortunately, all of this happened in July, but this is definitely a very big folder, and I'm going to eventually, I think it's all in July. Yes, everything is in July, but eventually I'm going to have to sort through those and create some subfolders. And all right, we're plugging along here, not too bad. Mystery portraits, let's see, April? I think these are all in April. Yep, thank goodness, these are all in April. Okay, so let's put those in April. And one more. We're going to ignore Solana for now. I think I'll cover that in a different video because I think I'm going to give you enough information here. These, I believe, all happened in May. Excellent. Okay, so everything is organized. Everything in 2020 photos is in a month, and that is very cool. And so everything is in one subfolder, but some of them, and there's nothing in August. I guess I better shoot some stuff in August. I'm going to leave it there because other things are going to come in. But for now, let's just go back and check on these. I'll start with January. I'm not going to do every little thing, but I want to show you what my next step would be so you get a sense for this. Isn't that nice how tidy that is now? So I'm going to go into January, and it looks like the only thing in January are birds. And I don't know where these birds were shot yet, but I know that these are all birds. So I'm going to create a subfolder. It just says birds. And actually, let me cancel this and show you this. So I can select all of these and then create a subfolder, call it birds, and include the selected photos. This just saved me a step if I remember to do it. And everything is in there. Now, it looks like it didn't change, but if you come over here, you'll see that there is a subfolder. And if I find some other stuff from January that's not birds, I can create another folder there. Now, I'll probably do the same thing with January and March. In April, though, I want to show you this becomes kind of tricky because there are 166 photos in here, but only 68 are in a subfolder. So this is where this subfolder routine can help. I'm going to only show the photos in the subfolders, or I'm going to not show the photos in the subfolders. And you can see that that means, yes, I have 98 that are just sort of loose here. Now, it looks like these are primarily birds. Yeah, they are. Not all great ones, but they're pretty much birds. So I'm going to go ahead and make a bird folder for April. Now, it can have the same name because it's in a different folder. So there won't be any confusion there. And I forgot to select them. I'll go ahead and do it the opposite way, which is I can just say Command All because I know that I'm not looking at the ones in the subfolder. I'm going to move them over. And there are no photos in the selected folder because the subfolders are not shown. When I turn those back on, you'll see everything comes back, but the birds and the mystery portraits are now separated. Okay, I'm going to stop there because we were almost to 20 minutes, and that is my max for photo demos. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how you can start to get yourself out of trouble in your Lightroom catalog. I'm going to do another one that will talk a little bit about external drives and also about syncing folders in case you have some of those crazy, horrible question marks. Okay, take a break. Take a breather, come back to the next video.